Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round number 7 here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Joining me in the commentary booth tonight is Jai Schultz. How's it going, Jai?
Yeah, not too bad, Junior. It's good to be back in the booth with you guys.
Yeah, perfect. We have the cars rolling out on track at the moment. Just having a look at the track facts just really quickly. We are here Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum. The track was constructed in 1960. Now can hold 153,000 people. Half-mile circuit tonight, so it's a short one. High bank end of 24 to 28 degrees, and it looks like it's a pretty cool day. So the server organisers have been pretty friendly with these drivers, but it does look like they're starting to roll up into the race just after doing their pre-qualifying. We'll head over to the grid very shortly as they are jumping up on the grid, and it is Riley Curtis who has snagged the pole position with Dave Douglas lining up next to him. Trent Gosley and Christopher Finlay, they lock out your second row. The first Southern Stars racing driver of Darren McKenzie is now in 5th with Aidan Schulz in 6th making an appearance. Stephen Williams and Tom Pritchard makes up your 4th row with Luke Kenny and Adam Malone side by side for the top 10. Gary Willman and Tony Roffey makes your 11th and 12th as we roll over the page. Danny Varsel and Toddy Maxfield 13th and 14th. Henry Fenson and Daniel Stevens. Dwayne Priest in 17th with Kobe Jordan from Inside Lane Sim Sports making the appearance in 18th. Chris Tomlin, Will Jesberg, that ends your top 20 with Andrew Dyson in your 21st position. Troy Mortensen is in 22nd with Aaron Dillon starting behind him, and next to Aaron is Richie Tramarco. Jumping over the page again is Jason Holsworth from Nitro Racing and Craig Roffey from Middle Split Racing. Ending your grid for the final row is Shane Mello and Noddy Tompkins. But Jai, you haven't jumped in so far this season. You're in here last season. What are you expecting for this one?
Going by the practice session just before the race server went up, there's a lot of trucks getting loose and a lot of big stack up. So these drivers will hopefully get through the first few laps clean and kind of settle into their rhythm and just get that pace and make it to the end. That's their first milestone to get through. Would be the first 10 or 20 laps here at Bristol.
Yeah, that's right. Drivers are playing the end game, so they'll be trying to get to the end to have their play at the end. But 300 laps is a long one. 6 sets of tyres altogether with 5 over the wall. They do have 75% fuel, which does accumulate to roughly 110 laps per tank. So we will see then possibly 2 pit stops so we don't go caution. 0 fast repairs and 3 green white checkers. So it does look like it's going to be a pretty awesome night here tonight. But we are double file behind the safety car. The lights are out, so he is ready to come into the pit lane, and then we'll start our 300 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. But I'm excited, and let's see if you're excited as well, Jai. But I'm looking most forward to how the drivers are going to handle this race start, because there is quite a few trucks here, and it is a very tight track. But they're underway. Dave Douglas on the high line, starting off really well, just staying really high, using the momentum right against the wall, and gets past the 093 as we head down the back stretch for the first time tonight.
Definitely a great start by these boys up the front, Dave and Riley, just settling in out front, getting single file as quickly as possible and looking to work together quite early. So we had 25 trucks actually start the race on the track. We had Henry Fenson and Luke Kenny starting for pit lane, and Toddy Maxfield has just had a connection issue, so he'll be looking to get back in the server as quickly as possible. But look how quickly these lead cars are catching these cars that are left pit lane. So already we've got a bit of lap traffic, but single file, we're in about the first 8 or so trucks.
That's right, they're playing the long game. As I said just before, we're looking at Aidan Schulz. He is side by side with his Southern Stars teammate Darren McKenzie, so they are fighting for that precious P5 position. Everyone's fighting their own groove here already. 4 laps into the race. We haven't really gone this quick as a lap count in this season, but here we are, Bristol Motor Speedway, half-mile track, and that's what we're going to see here tonight. League organiser doesn't have his teammate here, unfortunately. Andy Barber really been unwell, wasn't able to make the appearance, but Dave Douglas still out in front over Riley Curtis. Dave just jumps up a spot from where he started, just getting into that nice rhythm, just using the high line and really just trying to get the momentum out of the corner. But so far, clean start. Everyone's able to get off nice and clean and find their own area of the track. No one's really tripped over each other yet, but so far, Dwayne Priest in P12, he's up 5 positions. Andrew Dyson as well. He's also up quite a few positions in P6 with Aaron Dillon. Andrew Dyson 6 positions up and Aaron Dillon 8 positions up. So everyone's starting to find their own positions. Everyone's finding their own space in the racetrack. But so far, Jai's pretty clean start.
Yeah, it's really clean, and not one single car is actually double file at this current stage as well. So all single file, definitely playing the long game and definitely learning a thing or two in the practice session. So just settling in, and we just see Dave just fall back into the front bumper of Riley Curtis here, as they're not really catching these lap cars too quickly. So they'll be looking just to get single file and maybe just get past these trucks in front of them one by one and a bit safely. But with 28 cars currently out on track, there's not one single bit of free track here at the moment at Bristol.
That's right, everyone's bumper to bumper. Henry Fredson, the number 110. He's doing an awesome job as well. He's just trucking along, just being very patient. He is sitting, let's see, not too sure, can't really find it on live timing, but he is doing a very good job at staying nice and clean. He's found his momentum and he's pushing along hard. We can see at the back of him, he's starting to fall back just a little bit, but also in the commentary booth, haven't mentioned him, haven't really spoken about him, but the man behind our cameras, we do have Blocker here. How's it going so far, Blocker?
Thanks, Junior. Yeah, going pretty good. Hopefully got the audio a little bit better tonight, so we'll see how that comes up. But you just brought me in and we've just gone to a caution, so I better pass it back to you and we'll see what happened there.
That's right, cars scattering everywhere. Everyone's slowed down. Caution number 1 of the night, lap 13. We're looking at Dave Douglas at the moment, but we'll head over to a replay very shortly. But there is smoke everywhere, tyres everywhere, and no doubt a couple drivers might need a change of underwear. But let's have a look at the replay and see what happened.
And so we're just focusing here on Darren McKenzie, and maybe a little bit in the net corridor, just getting a bit loose and just comes up in front of Christopher Finlay there and kind of get hung together. But if we just stay on this replay for a little bit longer, you'll be able to see just how hard it actually is here at Bristol and how quickly these incidents happen, with a few trucks not actually being able to check up enough or get run over the back. And it is quite hard to see out of these trucks going around the corner depending on the line. Sometimes you do get blinded by the actual roof line, where the roof meets the windscreen, as we just see Kobe Jordan. Just one of those cars that maybe just got a bit blinded or couldn't slow the truck up in time and just getting into the door of DMAC there. So it just goes to show how hard it actually is to slow up these trucks sometimes here at Bristol. Yeah,
and few drivers here as well, like you did just mention, it is pretty hard to see out, but a bit unfortunate Kobe Jordan there just wasn't able to slow the car down. Not too sure what happened with Darren McKenzie, but what we can definitely say is there is a review after the race, and that will definitely be discussed. But nevertheless, we are caution number 1, 17 laps in so far. Looks like there's only one car two cars that have been seriously damaged in that one. One is Kobe Jordan and the other is Darren McKenzie. Not too sure about Christopher Finlay. Maybe he can get the repair done, but Bristol Motor Speedway, not a track that really relies on aero. Well, not aero. They don't really rely on the car as much as other tracks. So we might see some cars that bump walls might be able to keep up with the lead pack. But so far, pretty clean race, don't you think, Joe?
Yeah, definitely an amazing job so far by these drivers, being able to get that 17 laps in before we went to yellow for the first time. But yeah, you bang on with the damage kind of thing here at Bristol tonight, Junior, with anything on the side or the rear of the truck, you can kind of get away with. But as we saw Kobe Jordan have a pretty decent whack on the front, that would definitely kind of lay the motor down and not have as much power and also run the risk of overheating as well if the nose is pushed up a bit. So a bit worse for wear, but we do have a couple of cars in the pit lane as we see the field just starting to form up here. So we're about to go back green, but also with the dual pit lanes, we've got 28 drivers here tonight, as said before. The first 22 actually pit on the front straightaway, and the remaining 6 drivers will actually be on that back pit road as well. So if we do get green flag pit stops, you only have to go through the pit lane that your pit box is on. So it'll be quite interesting to see those drivers and if they hit the right pit road or if they go the wrong one, as it's everything happens very quickly here at Bristol.
That's right, everything happens quickly. We've seen the lap times pretty low and the lap counter spiking pretty high at the moment because they are pretty quick at the moment. But Dave Douglas off of the pole. He has started to lead the pack over Riley Curtis.
As Junior just goes a little bit quiet there, but great restart by Dave Douglas, and Riley Curtis just going, Riley Curtis just on the outside of Trent Gosley there, so not getting right behind Dave Douglas on the initial start of this race as Aiden Schultz down is looking to the outside of Trent Gosley's. I think we have Junior back all loud and clear again.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not too sure what happened, but Trent Gosley, we just mentioned before, he's gone around, lit the tyres up, and he's around. This is going to bring out the second caution of the night, but he did an awesome job to stay off the wall, and it doesn't look like anyone has really received any damage from that. But as soon as Junior's back to this trouble, and unfortunately Trent Gosley just had a moment there, and we have gone caution for the second time tonight.
As we transfer over to the Skypoynt replay to see exactly what happened here, as we just see Aiden Schultz get a decent run, maybe looking to go around the outside and just touching the back of Trent Gosley here. So that's all it takes sometimes, but Aiden managed to keep it out of the wall, and Trent, as we can see, sliding down the racetrack and out of harm's way as well to not get collected and get any other further damage. So Bristol is a little bit like Dover, and it's a self-cleaning racetrack, as they say. So once a car spins, it really spins the car off the racing surface. So if that happens, it's normally pretty good, as we saw in that first caution. If you stop on track, there's a very high risk you might get run over for a second time. So we do have Dave Douglas still in the lead of this race, followed closely by his teammate in Riley Curtis, and the first sim boy, Gary Wellman, is currently in P3.
Yeah, that's right. And speaking of Dave Douglas, why don't we chuck him up at the broadcast booth, throw him under the bus a bit. Dave Douglas, surprise, it's the broadcast booth. We have Jai and Blocker in here, but how's it going, mate? Party on, mate.
What's up, boys?
How's it going, mate? Leading the motor race, how good does it feel so far?
Oh, mate, it's good. Being out front, you don't have to worry about nothing, mate. Just cruise around and, well, we almost got to the traffic there. I sort of backed off and just cruised with those guys, but that's pretty fun. It's good so far, touch wood.
I hope that's not how you work your accelerator pedal.
Yeah, mate, that's it, mate. We got to do a little burnout down the straight for you. Nah, I'll end up in it.
Dave, mate, just really quick, you've led the motor race quite, well, pretty much every lap so far, but that's not the only treat we have tonight. We also have the grippers out and the foot cams, so thanks very much for that. But how do you feel like your race is going so far?
No, it's going good, mate. I mean, just what happened there? Did Aiden turn someone or something back there? It looked like, I don't know, but interesting. So, no, for me, going well so far. Touch wood, as I said. We'll see how we go.
That's right, mate. And Jai, do you have anything to add before we go green?
Yeah, just awesome race so far, and
wonder where you were, mate.
Good to be talking with you again.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Got Riley on your outside, starting P2. Good teamwork so far. Pretty keen on getting a good jump on this restart as well, counting him down.
Yeah, I just told him where I was going to go last time, so I'll just give him a hint where I'm going to go. So that way he doesn't jump it or anything and get a black flag. But A1 Sim Sport front row, so it was good pole position from Riley. But yeah, we're about to go back green here, boys.
That's right, and thanks very much, Dave. We'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, no worries, boys.
Anyways, thanks for the special cam and good luck.
Too easy, see you, boys.
Yeah. There we go, Double D, Dave Douglas and Riley Curtis is looking out your front row. A1 Sim Sports doing an awesome job so far. They've been leading 1-2 the whole race so far. No one else really had the chance to steal that, but here we go. A1 Sim Sports at the front row. Safety car is in. Dave Douglas goes. Riley Curtis sits back and tucks into his teammate Dave Douglas. Dave off to a good start. He has the lead in the motor race. We have Gary Wellman there having a look at Riley Curtis, seeing if he can try and steal that second position and start to make his way up to Dave Douglas, but gets denied. He has to sit behind Riley, really trying to get in underneath the back of the car and really try and take that draft. But draft not too strong here at Bristol Motor Speedway because it is quite a short circuit and the cars aren't at such high speed, but we do see a bit of a twitch of Trent Gosley towards the back of the field there just before just getting a little bit of a tap from Aidan Schills and causing him to spin around, burn up those tyres, and don't think he pitted, so his tyres will be pretty hot. He'll need to try and cool them down to get the optimal grip that he can out of those, but under pressure at the moment. Riley Curtis, 093 A1 Sim Sports. He has Gary Wellman, number 45, Sim Boys, right up his clacker, and you can't take your eyes off Aidan Schulz as well. But we do have a couple of packs forming at the moment, side-by-side action for the first few laps. We did have single file and no one was really doing much. Everyone was just trying to be patient, but now moves are starting to get made.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more going on than in the first few laps here at Bristol, and we do have the leaders just getting up a bit, but as we just see these middle finger racing boys working together, and it's not, as you mentioned, the aero and the draft effect here at Bristol is kind of null and void. There's no real benefit to it, but if you are following that car in front of you very closely, it can overheat those front tyres and get the water temp up a bit higher as well. So look for these guys later on in the run to kind of preempt where the truck in front of them is going to go and kind of stick their nose all the way out or even halfway out. Sometimes is more than enough, but definitely something to think of as we just see Troy Mortensen just go to the apron to let these leaders go as he has rejoined the track after that first yellow flag period. So bit of double file, but the leaders still single file, and the top six starting to skip away, but not from each other, just the rest of the pack. So it's starting to heat up at the front, and everywhere you look there's a battle going on in the mid pack.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Bristol. There's always a battle. There's not much clean tracks that people can really get into. But caution number 3, surprise Jai, as we just swap over talking roles just before I started talking. And looks like my commentator's curse decided to kick in, and the caution is now out. Not too sure what caused that, so we will try and find the replay. But a bit unusual, but we do have Dave Douglas still in the lead. And he does have his teammate Riley Curtis behind him, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. It was in the middle of turn 2. I believe it was a purple car, so it may have been either Troy Mortensen or Dwayne Priest in their iconic purples. But quite a good pirouette that I saw in a 360 and continued on. So didn't get hit, so may have only just got a 2x for that one. Just a loss of control incident through iRacing. So, but just a single car incident, it did look like.
Yeah, not too sure who that is, but we will try and have a look. Possibility could be Troy Mortensen, but not too sure. But nevertheless, we are caution number 3 tonight at Bristol, nearly 40 laps into the motor race as well. So we are in pretty early stages, but we are looking at a replay here. It looks like a bit of a bump there from Andrew Dyson. It looks like that is the number 97 of Danny Varsel, and he's gone around as well. People dodging. We do have the Purple Sim Boy up there as well. just avoid the incident. But just a quick 360 and they keep going. But caution number 3, and Dave Douglas is still leading the motor race, so he's doing a great job.
Yeah, it was definitely well done to keep it out of the wall and just to spin it down the apron. And good old Schultz, he just found out he's colourblind because that truck definitely was not purple. But unlucky for the middle finger boy. And but yeah, no hit anything, no damage, and you'll be able to get back up to pace under this pace car and get going again with just a little bit of track position loss. But that's not too bad considering considering that we're only 42 laps into 300 laps. So we've got Luke Kenny, I believe, in the number 15 inside lane production. It's LCR entry. So as we open up the camera for him, full focus, and Luke's been doing very well in the 15 truck. Hey Luke, how you doing?
Good, thanks mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. How's Bristol treating you so far?
Sketchy. It was not intentional to start from pit lane, but we're sort of been moving forward pretty well, which has been nice, and just avoiding trouble.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see a pit lane start here at Bristol, but did an amazing job not to go a lap down and keep that lead lap position as well. So I do believe we're forming up, but the rest of the race, where's your kind of goal for tonight?
Just stay on the lead lap and hopefully stay out of trouble and just finish, mate. That's my only goal. Not looking to win or anything, just keep the truck clean and go from there. So
sounds like a pretty good plan, especially at Bristol. So we'll let you get back to your team, and good luck for the rest of the race.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
Green flag.
Luke Kenny in the number 15 truck as we take the green flag to start lap 44 of 300.
That's right, and they're underway. Dave Douglas out in the lead yet again. Oh, and Riley Curtis is under pressure with Gary Wellman, who actually gets past him. Just catches him lacking. Aiden Schultz, he's there also in the 4th position, getting pretty racy now, trying to gain all the spots that he can. But so far, pretty clean start of the race. We're nearly just a 6th of the way through, but we have Aiden down the bottom trying to make a move on Gary Wellman. We'll see what's going to happen here. He makes the move done. He has his nose ahead, and it's sealed. Good job, Aiden, there, making that position up. Now jumping into the first podium spot.
Yeah, definitely a good move by Aiden. And Riley, I've noticed on the restarts, he drops back a little bit from Dave and runs the risk, but he does hold that outside in those first couple of laps really well, as we just saw then. So the last 2 restarts, he's done that quite well. And as you said, Aiden up to 3rd. Pretty good move on the inside as well. So not only can you hold your position around the outside, it's possible to make a position on the inside as well. So definitely two prominent grooves happening already this early on in this race.
We also see on screen Trent Gosley making quite a lot of positions up really quickly. Look at the pace that he has underneath him. He did have the spin earlier. Now he's moved up to 4th position. He's down 1 from where he started. And remember, guys, he was facing the wrong way and was involved in one of the cautions, so he's done an awesome job to jump the field. It looks like there's some new boots underneath him, so he's used 2 sets of boots so far, or he's on his 2nd set. 5 over the wall here tonight, so he'll only have 4 left remaining to be able to use, and everyone else looks like they've only used, they're on the tyre that they started. And it looks like they've really gone through the pit lane so far. Lap 51 out of 300, still a long way to go, but we do have Tom Pritchard there. He's in the 7th position too. Really strong in the super speedways. It looks like he's doing a really good job at Bristol Speedway.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a super speedway king in Tom Pritchard. Just following Aaron Dillon around at the moment, fighting for the 6th position. Dillon's actually our biggest mover from the start of this race so far, up 17 positions. So definitely a strong run so far by Dillon in the Pink Sim Boys entry. And fighting Tom and Adam Malone shortly behind them as well. So again, another mid-pack battle as we just see get a few laps into this run again. So a bit of settling down at the front, but it's definitely on mid-pack on back.
That's right, mid-pack battles are really strong here. They are side by side, 2 and 3 wide so far. Haven't really seen too much 3 wide action, but there's a little bit of smoke ahead. Not too sure what happened, maybe a bit of a brake lock, but we have Tom Pritchard. He's also having a run trying to catch Gary Wellman. Just gets a little bit loose down the bottom there, but nevertheless, he is still side by side with Aaron Dillon, Gary Wellman's teammate. But following close behind is also Adam Malone, who's actually sitting on the high line, and he's attacking Aaron Dillon, who is attacking Tom Pritchard. So it looks like it's a pretty fair battle. But we do have quite a few cars here in battle, getting a bit sideways too. But let's go on board with Adam Malone and check out what it's really like in the driver's perspective at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, so with the on board here, just have a look as he goes through the corners. Just see a little touch up the front, but they carry on. But you can't actually see the whole way around the corner here at Bristol, as it's only 0.533 miles long. So it's roughly, if my math is correct, about 700 meters in our kind of measurement long. So it's very short and high banking, and the corners are actually quite tight. So as I mentioned before, sometimes you can't see the incident around the corner, so you've got to trust. And so we just have a look at the side window, all clear down low. And yeah, just following along nicely as he's kind of just tucked in behind two of these sim boys here, racing pretty hard. So we'll see if he can make up a few positions. He has dropped one position from his starting. He did start in that 10th position, dropped down to 11th. But by the look of it, settling quite nicely and just looking after the truck and making sure he's got something to take to the end of this one.
Yeah, and he's starting to push up to his teammate, his teammate Tom, but the next guy he'll be fighting with is Craig Roffey, who's actually our hardest charger at the moment, 18 positions up from where he started. So he's done a really nice job there, but we're also having a look back up the front. Dave Douglas and Trent Gosley are fighting out, not fighting. Dave Douglas has a nice lead over Trent Gosley. Trent Gosley also has a nice lead back to Riley Curtis, who happens to be Dave Douglas's teammate. And Gary Wellman, who was fighting with him earlier, has dropped pretty far back into 13th position. Not too sure what happened there. Maybe a bit of contact, but Aidan Schulz, he is having a run at Riley Curtis for the back end of podium yet again, so we will see what happens here.
Yeah, just ranging up on the back of Riley here and just kind of slowly just creeping up, and as he just dips his nose onto the inside, maybe he's hoping to make the same move as he did on Gary Wellman earlier on, who's Gary's dropped just a bit farther back, so maybe he just overheated his tyres. He's down in 14th position at the moment, but Trent Gosley, he's moved up into second position, only 1.4 seconds behind Double D of Dave Douglas. And we also have on lap 67, 21 of these trucks are still on the lead lap. So an amazing job and quite a nice pace, and there seem to be settling into a rhythm, but we do have a bit of a pack forming around if I have a look, around the 10th position on back.
That's right, and speaking about drivers at the moment, we have Andrew Dyson. We do happen to have a couple of awesome cameras with him, so we will check those out very shortly. But the 110 car is doing a very nice job, just lapping around, being really patient. Henry Fenton in 16th position. Everyone's starting to fight. We do have a car down the bottom there. Looks like he's just trying to limp back. Maybe you've hit the wall, not too sure, but nevertheless, we have Luke Kenny we're looking at the moment. He is in the top 15. He is recovering from accidentally starting in the pit lane. Unfortunate for him, but he has carved his way up towards the front, and now we're starting to see a bit of a fight on Dwayne Priest with Luke Kenny starting to attack.
Yeah, as they just go 3 wide there and just get caught up, and we will go yellow flag again. So a bit of a 3-car incident there as we were focused on them of, I believe it was Dwayne Priest, Luke Kenny and Jason Holdsworth, which was just trapped at the back after not setting a time in qualifying as well. So he was steadily working his way up through the field, but just getting caught up in this incident as we check out the Skypoynt replay.
Commentator's curse happens again. We slow this replay down. Jason Holdsworth down the bottom. Luke Kenny just starts to go up, where it looks like Dwayne Priest starts to come down too. Looks like they may have met in the middle. Makes contact Dwayne Priest ends up in the barrier, and all three of them with Bristol's exclusive track cleanup pushes them down to the bottom, and unfortunately all three cars make contact into the wall. Double D, Dave Douglas also dodges the crash really well too, jumps down the bottom, but Dwayne Priest looks like his car's smoking more than those Cowboys from Tennessee, but we will talk to the drivers very shortly. We do have Riley Curtis in the lead. Also, Tom Pritchard's moved into second, and Danny Varsel is now in third. Pit stops have been happening so far under the caution, so drivers have been able to take their first stop, and we do have a lot of drivers now in the pit lane. We have Craig Roffey, Aaron Dillon, Daniel Stevens, Adam Malone, Stephen Williams, Tony Roffey, Henry Fenton, just to name a few, coming into the pit lane, grabbing some brand new boots. But fourth caution of the night, and Danny Varsel is up 12 positions, and he is our leader.
Yeah, just interesting to see there. Riley Curtis actually entering pit road under caution on the turn 4 section of the apron there. So I'm not sure how the dual pit lane works here at Bristol, but I do believe under caution you must transit through both pit lanes. So enter pit lane on the turn 2 and exit pit lane at turn 1. So it's a full lap. So we'll have to just keep an eye on Riley just to see if he did miss that pit stall and just kind of get pushed back, as I believe it's an end of line penalty. But under green, it's only the single pit road, so we might just have to keep an eye on that one. But it's definitely put him well down the pack in this pit stop cycle. We just see one car dropping to the inside onto the apron down the front straight as well.
Yeah, looks like that driver may have been gone into the pit lane too. If not, maybe just shuffle him back. But Danny Varsel's doing an awesome job. Dave Douglas is in second position. We have Chris Tomlin. He's up 16 positions, but we do have a bunch of pretty quick drivers that we usually see up towards the front. They've now made their way up to the front from starting in lower positions. One of them drivers is Andrew Dyson, and no, I'm not talking about the vacuum cleaner, I'm talking about the driver. He is in 7th position, 14 positions up from where he started. He's done an awesome job at getting up to the top 10 after being starting in higher than 20th position, unfortunately. But fourth caution of the night, clean race so far, but we have had a couple of incidents so far that have unfortunately brought a couple of safety cars and a couple of drivers out of the race.
Yeah, definitely a few hard luck stories so far, as we just see the field kind of bunch up and form up here. But yeah, Andrew Dyson, even with the last name, definitely does not suck, as he just had a highlights video actually feature on iRacing's YouTube channel with a amazing battle with Thomas Hinds at Bathurst in the Bathurst 1000. So definitely a stellar driver on both road and oval.
But how good is that? Now we're under green again, lap 78 out of 300. Dave Douglas takes the lead again over Danny Varsel, who does not stand a chance from the big set of double Ds out in the front. He's doing an awesome job. Also, Andrew Dyson, he doesn't suck, remember. He's in 6th position now, making up moves. Looks like he has some fresh boots underneath him, and he's pushing up to the front of the pack. All the drivers in the top 8 so far are up quite a lot of positions, but no, we're under caution again. Harry Fenton climbs down the order down into 16th. Not too sure what happened there, but looks like Fenton had been involved in an incident, and now we'll have a look at the Skypoynt replay and see what happened. Yeah, look
just focused on Henry Fenton, just running this high line up here, and we just see a few of the cars sideways just in front of him with Stevie Dub and looks like Tony Roffey. And look at the back end of that truck go up. I think that was Craig Roffey just getting a bit airborne. Hayden Schultz and Tom Pritchard just scooting over the inside there, just getting past that incident as well. So definitely a few quick trucks there caught up as we just keep focusing here on Stevie W off turn 4. And Adam Malone in front of him just goes for the block, and Stevie Dub not having too much place to go and just getting caught up, and a bit of a checkup made the Constantino effect. But again, it just shows how hard it is to really get through this field, as we see Riley Curtis actually scooting through and shooting the gap. So it looks like he's got through that incident very clean. So he'll be looking to get back up to the front after the last caution.
Yeah, and definitely a few drivers are going to be disappointed out of that one. But I know that we won't. I know something that we won't be disappointed with. Let's bring up Dave Douglas yet again in the booth. Still leading the motor race. Just dodged a couple incidents too. Still leading. How are you feeling so far, Dave?
Yeah, pretty good. That was pretty interesting, that little accident down the back straight, wasn't it? I saw it before a few others went by, but that's the thing at Bristol. Everything happens quick, so you got to have your eyes up. And as soon as you see something start happening, got to get out of it. So I was ready for it because I was half expecting it, and snuck through. So Riley got caught out on the pit stop there, so he's put himself a bit back a bit further in the field. But back to P1, it's where I like to be. Hopefully, stay here all night.
Sorry, Junior. Just quickly touching on Riley Curtis and that last pit stop. Just out of curiosity, was that because he only went through one side of pit lane under caution, or was it just something else that may have happened?
Nah, so he was coming, but Aiden misjudged the pit entrance or jinked or something. And so by the time Aiden jinked, he got a black flag, and Riley pulled out, like aborted, and didn't get anything. So he just went and stopped the next lap with Tom. But whatever happened with Aiden in front of him, whatever was jinking, just Riley thought it was just his best option just to stay out, and then wanted tyres anyway, so he came in. But I think Aiden got a black flag though.
So just for the viewers at home, under caution, you as the drivers, do you have to go through both pit roads?
No. So just wherever your pit bay is, like the 23 is the last pit bay there by the looks of it. So if there's anyone behind the 23, so mine's on the front straight here, so I just have to come into one straight.
Okay, I wasn't too sure if it changed under caution compared to green flag running, but
yeah, just the one pit side you need to come in.
Well, as we form up again, hopefully you can get the jump on Trent Gosley starting on your outside, as you've lost Riley from this front row, but hopefully he's back up with you soon, and you can continue to kind of lead this motor race and control it from the front.
Yeah, hopefully I'll hopefully talk to you boys again soon.
There we go. We had Dave Douglas in the booth. We are getting ready to go green yet again after going caution just before. A few drivers out or involved. That involves Andrew Dyson's teammates, so that sucks. But Dave Douglas is leading this one off yet again so far. He's pushing really hard. Trent Gosley is in second position. Daniel Stevens, Danny Varsel, Andrew Dyson. That's your top five. And we are getting underway. Nearly just ticking over a third over this one, and everyone's now back side by side.
Yeah, definitely a good restart, and just going single file up here, but only for the first four cars as we start to see side-by-side action as well. But Danny Vassell currently running in the fourth position in the 97 truck is yet to pit as well, so holding his own quite nicely up the front and really going at it with these boys on the fresher tyres, as we see Trent Gosley actually just do the quickest lap at a 14.8 second lap time. So even with a little bit of a banged up door by the looks of it there, still quite quickly, and as he takes the lead away from Dave Douglas. So Gosley to the front.
Yeah, that's right. He is pushing pretty hard too. Looks like some new boots. He's on his number 4 truck. Maybe he's been inspired by Landon Norris, and now he's pushing out in front, who shares the number 4. But Dave Douglas was sitting back, just being patient. Trent may be needing to be a bit careful. Never really know. He may be burning up his tyres. Remember, 6 tyres altogether, 5 over the wall. So drivers would be needing to strategize that one to see how they're going to get to the end.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of strategy involved, as even with the fuel, they've got about 106 laps of green flag running to a tank of fuel. And as you said, 5 tyre changes over the wall. So we saw most drivers take their first change around that lap 70 mark. So plenty of tyres, and maybe Gosley just had a bit less tyre wear than he may have thought he would, and realised that he can push it a little bit harder. So definitely shoots to the front and already got a 1.3 second lead over Dave Douglas, closely followed behind by Daniel Stevens.
Yeah, no, that's right. So far, 15 cars are on the lead lap. So the pack's starting to shrink a bit after 4 cautions. But we do have Skypoynt and Southern Stars Racing having a big battle here at the moment. Aiden and Tom. Tom's doing an awesome job. He's the solo Skypoynt car here tonight. Unfortunately, Andy Barber's missing out on this one, just feeling a bit unwell. So hopefully he gets better soon. But we're getting ready to go 3 wide for the first time tonight. And how cool is this? Teammates side by side, and they're right on the back of Craig Roffey, and they are attacking.
Yeah, we see Aiden Schultz just getting to the low side of Craig Roffey here, and Tom would want to be following Aiden through here and making a good opportunity with that pass, but can't quite get it done. Aiden just using that bottom line still to clear cars, and does clear Craig Roffey. And he's next on his list is Danny Vassell on the older tyres as well. So little bit of variance in the grip levels, but not too bad considering not having to pit and coming up to lap 100 on the same set of tyres, doing quite strong and holding his own. Still in P5 at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. And Craig Roffey now taking the 5th position now. He's doing a good job. And Aiden Schultz, he is in 4th. Tom Pritchard in 6th. So they're having a very good battle there. But Riley Curtis and Danny Vassell, they are having a side-by-side battle. Also, Riley Curtis was up the front. He ended up starting on the pole position. So he's going to be trying to get right back up to where he started from. But he's doing an amazing job at what he's doing so far. Daniel Stevens down towards the mid-pack. Well, no, he's in 3rd position, so he's starting to pass some lap traffic becoming a thing. Now, we're in the triple digits for our lap count, 102 laps. We're just over a third of the way through, and we've had quite a lot of action so far, and it's been a pretty good race.
Yeah, it's been a good race, and Gosley's still leading the race. Does currently hold the quickest lap time, still at 14.866 as well in his Chevy Silverado. So definitely going strong, and Riley Curtis, as we see on screen now, back up to 7th after that little pit lane kind of mix-up incident that Dave mentioned before in the interview, but back up to 7th and really charging hard and making his way through this field one by one as he just comes up behind Craig Roffey and Tom Pritchard racing side by side. So maybe he might just slow him up a little bit, but knowing Riley, he'll be just looking to kind of creep up and make his move very smart and very safely, as we just see these guys getting on the bottom of Will Jesberg, I think that is, I believe. So Will doing a good job as well, all new sim gear and a bit of time off iRacing as well. So he's back and really enjoying it, and good to see here on track at Bristol as well in the Skypoynt trucks, doing a good job.
Yeah, that's right. Will's in 17th, free from where he started, so that's a very solid start back from his break and his upgrade. But Riley Curtis down the back just gets a little bit close to the wall, gets a little bit loose. Very lucky not to make contact. That was a pretty hairy moment. I held my breath, but he's doing a very good job starting pole, so that would have been a very quick qualifying lap. Wish we could have seen it, but we do have a battle up in front to Craig Roffey, Aiden and Daniel Stevens. Well, no, Tom, Craig and Aiden. So they are having a bit of a battle there at the moment, doing a great job there. Also, Trent Gosley, our leader at the moment, he does have a healthy margin back to Dave Douglas, just nearly 4 seconds. So he is pushing hard. He's overtaking Jason Holdsworth as we speak.
Yeah, definitely pushing hard and not kind of laying down. He really wants to extend this gap as much as possible. So maybe he's thinking we might end up going green for the whole 100 laps of this fuel run. So definitely not unheard of here at Bristol. But yeah, definitely a good job by all these drivers here tonight in such a short track. And it's the first short track this series has actually gone to. Prominently known for the super speedways and touching into the mile and a half, and thankful for the admins of Skypoynt and Andy and Tom, and mixing it up a little bit here in season 3, and actually throwing in a short track. So a lot of the guys, they do like the short track side of things, and it really, like, it's their time to shine. Personally, myself, I love my short track racing, but sadly my rig's not set up as I'm moving, so it's been back in the booth. But definitely would have enjoyed myself racing here, and going back to another league race, me and Aiden, as we see him on screen at the moment, just hanging back there in 4th place. Actually got a 2nd and 3rd last time we raced at Bristol in a league race as well. So look for Aiden to be quite strong, and he likes to think he's a pretty good short track racer as well. So he's doing a pretty good job here in 4th position, only 4.5 seconds off the lead of the race, as we just see the gap up the front coming down to under 2 seconds now. So lap traffic definitely playing a role, and definitely mixing up these gaps. So who can work through the traffic well and clean and quick over their competitors.
That's right. Bristol Motor Speedway been one of my favourite short tracks. I did mention earlier, I did throw in my opinion saying it is the last great Coliseum. Your opinion too, Jai. But let's just have a quick recap of tonight and Bristol as a whole. 300 laps turning tonight, 120 laps so far into this race, 6 sets of tyres all up with 75% fuel in their tanks. 100 laps per tank is an estimate that I got from Aiden, that is on screen at the moment, so we'll see if that is true. So fast repairs, we've seen quite a lot of crashes here tonight, and it does seem like there's at least half the field that is out of the race due to damages. Three green white checkers, so if there is a smash up during the end of the race, we have 3 chances to finish. Bit of track facts too. Bristol Motor Speedway, we are here in Bristol, Tennessee, and the track was constructed in 1960. NASCAR held their first race here July 30th, 1961, so a year after it was built. They had NASCARs on, and now we have our special trucks running around there now. 153,000 people this can seat as well, so that's a lot of fans, and looks like there's a stadium packed here for Skypoynt in their truck series. Half mile, like we mentioned before, that's just over 750 meters with 0.85 kilometers distance, or half a mile at 0.533. 24 to 28 degree banking, pretty high banking, which is why we can see Aiden here just really using all that banking, using that momentum, and he's making his attack on Daniel Stevens in the podium. And just for you guys being curious, $600,000 construction cost too, so throwing that all out there. So if there is trivia questions there, we'll see who's paid attention, but we are nearly halfway, and we do see Dave Douglas. He is back in the lead of the motor race, and he's starting to lap cars again.
Yeah, definitely making his way through the field here as he retakes the lead over Gosley as we hit lap 127, just scooting past Troy Mortensen there in the 23 truck nice and safely. So you'll be looking forward to the next car, as we've got another incident just down the front straight. I think that's Noddy Tompkins, and as we see Tom Pritchard on screen with a bit of smoke coming out the back of his truck. So definitely not good. Jason Holdsworth entering pit lane on the apron there as well. A bit of smoke coming out of the back of him. So a little bit just happened there, Junior.
Yeah, not too sure what happened there, but pretty disappointing from Tom and Jason just getting involved in an incident. No caution so far, so they have to limp their cars to the pit lane. And speaking about caution, here it comes. Lap 129. We have our 5th caution. Commentators curse, rolling it out again. And we're going to check out the replay. We have Troy Mortensen here we are looking at.
Just getting a little high off of turn 4 there, and just getting grazed on the way through by, I believe that's Trent Gosley in P2. So Troy just hitting the wall nose first. That's going to create a little bit of damage, and just spinning up and doing a good job in holding his brakes, and hopefully everyone can get past cleanly. But definitely unfortunate for the Platinum Racing truck of Troy Mortensen.
Yeah, and I like to think that that's one of the most beautiful liveries I've seen. Platinum doing an awesome job there, but we do see the 23 smoking there, and looks like the engine's gone pop, and so has his night as it comes to an end. So that's unfortunate from Troy B. The second NASCAR race here this season that he's back at after moving. But we do have lap cars going around the safety car too, getting back into the lead lap. But we do have Dave Douglas. He's also in the lead. Daniel Stevens, Aiden Schulz, and Riley Curtis. We can bring anyone in the broadcast booth that you wish if you want to drop a comment and ask who you want. But we can figure out how to drag in and have a chat too. And why not just drag up Mr. Dyson into the broadcast booth. Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
What's going on, boys?
Hey, it's Ryan and Jay in the broadcast booth. How's the race going so far, mate? You are doing pretty well. Well, you're in the pit lane now, taking your stop, but how do you think your race is going so far?
Pretty good so far. I've had a little bit of damage, a couple of little nose to tail sort of things, nothing big, but yeah, it might affect me a little bit, but yeah, bit of a tape adjustment just there. Took some optionals, see what happens. Might lose a couple of spots, but I'm still kind of in it, so that's alright. Long way to go.
Yeah, Bristol Speedway, pretty short track. We've seen you, well, in different series as well. You are pretty quick in the super speedways, but we haven't really seen you in the short tracks such as Bristol too much. So how do you think you're adapting your race car to this circuit compared to the super speedways that we're usually running here at Skypoynt?
Well, your car's probably better than I am. I think I do okay at short tracks. They can kind of play into my strengths sometimes, but Bristol's a different kind of beast when it comes to short tracks. It's not really something that I'm heaps good at, so I'm just here to cruise around and stay out of trouble and see where I end up, sort of thing. I mean, car's not too bad. It seems to be better on a long run than a short one. So, I mean, not really the sort of setup you want at this track, I guess. There's normally a lot of yellows, but see what happens.
I've got to ask you, you look like you're in your garage or something.
Sorry, I may have to repeat that, man. I got spotted screaming in my ear.
It looks like you're in your garage, are you?
Nah, I'm in a room in the house, but I've got some racking set up behind me. It's full of car parts, gaming stuff, all sorts of stuff, man. So, yeah, it looks like a garage, though.
Looks like you got your gaming den there, your man cave, and
that's pretty much what it is, mate.
Yeah, no doubt people love it, but we won't keep you for much longer. But just really quickly before we go green, what do you reckon you're gonna do at the race start?
Oh, stay out of trouble, mate. Yeah.
Green flag.
That's the go. All right, thanks very much, Andrew. We'll let you get going, and good luck, mate.
Cheers, man.
There we go. We're green underway so far. Just got a bit of interesting view of good old Daiso. Something that we don't really see too much of, but it was very good to have a chat to him. A very experienced driver. He's sitting down the bottom there, so looks like his good old t-shirt and pants, staying cool and running quicker at Bristol. But he's doing a pretty good job. But yeah, loving the racing so far. We still have Dave Douglas in the lead. At the moment, he is defending Trent Gosley, who's now dropped to the bottom. So may have made a mistake there, Dave Douglas. But Daniel Stevens is also on the back there. Can't forget Aiden Schulz, Riley Curtis. He's down 4 from where he started. Started pole, we've mentioned that a few times tonight. But Andrew Dyson, he is doing a good job. He doesn't suck here at Bristol Motor Speedway. In P6 up 15. So he's doing an awesome job. But I reckon we should go on board with good old Dyson and watch him have a bit of an attack here on Riley Curtis. You will see Andrew Dyson, the 0-4-1 P6, up 15 positions. He's doing a really good job to catch Riley Curtis, and he is actually catching Dave Douglas also. Looks like he might make the move as well, but we are focusing up on Aiden, who is now taking the lead of the motor race, so he does have his Southern Stars and 2 just ahead there. Boom. Bonus point from Aiden so far. Slight damage to the rear of his truck, but apart from that, he's stayed nice and clean, and he's leading this one as we nearly tick halfway through. Jai, we do have Tom Pritchard in the podium room, so why don't we chuck him up? Good old Tom, how's it going, mate?
Oh man, not too good. I'm sitting here in pit lane. It's never a good thing, but yeah, unfortunately, I got about 25 minutes of pit lane to go, unfortunately, because I unfortunately have busted an engine.
That's unfortunate, mate. We haven't really seen on the broadcast what has happened, so why don't you just talk us through it, and can use our imaginations to kind of picture what happened.
Oh, I love the monotone voice you got there, Junes. It's nice and entertaining on the old, using the imaginations. I'll tell you what happened. It was, had a car in front of me bump the wall, and unfortunately I gave him a little bit of a rear ending, and that's what's kind of heated up the engine, and she's blown, unfortunately. So I was waiting for a pace car in that last run, which just didn't come until after it had blown. So I mean, if it had only lasted a couple more laps, I would have got that safety car. Would have been able to get in the pit lane, get the bonnet pushed back down, get a bit more of a clear airway, and been on my way. But unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So looks like a pretty entertaining race, and I'll stick up here in the booth with you guys for a few laps if you don't mind, and then maybe get back down in the car and go cause some trouble in the last quarter of the race.
Lots would love you to stay in the broadcast booth. You do have a 25-minute wait, but you are a lone soldier in this race so far. Only one Skypoynt racing car out there, Andy Barber. Looks like he's on the sidelines for tonight, but not the race you wanted. But how was your race going leading up to your accident, mate?
Well, up to that, no, it was going pretty well. We were sitting in that kind of top 6, top 5, so I'm pretty disappointed, to be honest. If I'm going to end up in the pit lane, it's pretty disappointing. So just waiting. I've got to say, this timer that's ticking down with required repairs written on it has 23 minutes, and it feels like it's taking such a long time. Every second feels like a minute. So hopefully coming up with you guys will shorten that for me. What do we got going on the race, though? We've got a pretty fast attrition rate by the looks of things. We've had a few cars obviously go out, because I'm still sitting, am I sitting 16th? And when you consider that I've already been in the pits nearly 10 minutes, that tells me that a lot of cars were already half the field is behind me still. So it's been pretty high attrition, boys.
That's right, some pretty good racing. We are still single file up the front. We do have your teammate Aiden Schulz. He is in the lead also, so he is doing an awesome job. Trent Gosley is also having a crack in P2. Daniel Stevens and Riley Curtis too. And Andrew Dyson following very closely, but we have had 5 safety cars so far. Tom, was that expected?
Absolutely expected. I mean, this is Bristol, so I mean, you've got a short track. What is hard to understand if you're watching on is that it's a very physical track. So you're going corner to corner very quickly. You're kind of in this bowl nearly of a race circuit. So it's high action, and the cars are very close. And if someone makes a mistake and goes round, it's normally a lot of calamity happening very quickly. So we've got at the moment it looks like there's, I don't know how many cars are on track. It looks about 20 or so cars, so they can get into a bit of rhythm and about some pretty a fair amount of laps. But I can assure you, it's there's a good cluster going. Kind of when there's a good cluster going on track, it's very easy. One person makes a mistake, and it's like dominoes. Everyone falls down. So Aiden looks like he's doing a pretty good job at the moment out in front. And to be honest, that's where you kind of want to be. You want to get some clean air coming in the front of the car. It just allows you to focus on getting your nice kind of application of the throttle, and making sure you keep the car nice and straight, keeps the tyres in good shape, for the longer part of the stint. That you can do a lot better when you've got clean air in front of you. So definitely, we're only just past the halfway mark, so a long way to go still. And really, anything can happen at this point.
And we have seen throughout the race too, it's very unexpected. We have cars spinning left, front and centre very occasionally. Jai did mention in the broadcast earlier that Bristol and shorter tracks like this seem to be a bit of a self-cleaning circuit where, oval, where when the car goes around, it usually will drag towards the bottom of the circuit. But speaking of Jai, we haven't really spoken to him much. Jai, what have you observed so far in the race?
It's a lot of nice single file racing at the front. As you just see, Aiden still leading the race here, gap of 1 second over Gosley, just coming up behind some lap cars here. So he's going to try and pick them off one by one and safely. And he's still looking at that bottom lane, so he's definitely a lot more comfortable there. As you would just see a little bit of a slide coming off of turn 4 there on the last one by. So definitely looking quite sturdy there. But yeah, just quickly, Tom, first short track in the Skypoynt Truck Series. A nice little added feature here before we go back into the super speedways and next week being Daytona. So going from one of the shortest tracks on the iRacing server to one of the longest tracks in the oval scene. He's definitely looking forward to getting back on the super speedways.
And I've had a bit of a horror run the last couple of laps. Oh, that's Aiden. He's gone in the fence by the looks of things. The leader, he got caught up there with a back marker. That's not what he would have wanted. Sorry, I just got excited there. That's put a fair bit of damage on the 52 car. Not a good thing. Wow, that's interesting. So I don't know whether we can get that back on a replay, what happened there, but it looked like maybe Aiden misjudged the car coming up that he was going past and just clipped the front of him as he kind of came across. But I'm not sure there. We've got a caution. Not sure what that's for, but I don't know if there's a bit of smoke coming out of the back of Aiden's car, but yeah, here we go. We'll get a Skypoint replay and have a look.
Just see, focusing here on Luke Kenny, just following his teammate Christopher Tomlin here. Just getting a slight bump by Riley Curtis by the look of it and goes round off of turn 4 down this front straightaway. Just as we see the rear tyres spinning, locking up, spinning. So he's still driving the wheels off this thing, trying to save it from hitting the wall. And it looks like he's going to save it without hitting anything. So awesome save by Luke Kenny and keeping it off the walls. And that's what's actually bringing out the caution. But Aiden looking a bit beat up on this right hand side now after that slight contact just before this caution flag came out.
Yeah, quite a bit beat up there by the looks of things. So I'd suggest he'll be coming into the pit lane this lap to get some of that damage attended to, because I would suggest that's going to be holding him up a fair bit, not causing enough damage to potentially put some kind of
sorry,
injury on the car like that.
Just going to have to watch this as we do have a car just stopped on track here in the middle. So maybe an issue by Luke Kenny. Something going on with his hardware possibly. As
he's towed there.
Yeah, he's towed. So it looks like that.
I just heard on the radio that it was that he had a problem with the actual steering wheel on his rig, so he couldn't actually get the steering to move or something. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, just as we did see him stopped on track there with the left-hand wheel pointing all the way to the left. Maybe a hardware issue, as once your wheel disconnects, the wheel in iRacing decides to go all the way to the left, and if you have a pedal failure, all 3 pedals are 100% on as well. So it looks like he's been able to come to a stop, which suggests it was only a wheel failure, but definitely unlucky by Luke Kenny, as he was doing a very, very good job. Currently positioned in P13 with towing back to pit lane. So unlucky for Kenny, especially after that awesome save off of turn 4 there.
Yeah, and a bit unfortunate to see that happen. We can't really control the hardware failures, and when that does happen, it's very unfortunate what I've noticed now. Riley Curtis, your 093, he in A1 Sim Sports, he's now back up to the lead of the motor race. He was pole, and now he's back in first position. He was involved in the last caution, so we'll see what happens from here on. But also Andrew Dyson, he's done an awesome job. Also, he's 19 positions up. He is in second position. Trent Gosley, he is where he started in third. Adam Malone, Southern Stars, has snuck his way up into fourth position as well. Aiden, who was leading just before, just trying to find him. He's in P6, so it looks like he would have come in and had a look at the damage and tried to take some repairs. But the lights are out in the safety car, so we are getting ready to go green.
Yeah, just making it.
Sorry, you go, Guy. All yours.
Probably taking a few of those optionals for Aiden, but off the pole here for the restart, Riley Curtis alongside Andrew Dyson stayed out under this caution flag, so they'll be on slightly older tyres in comparison to Trent Gosley and Adam Malone and the rest of the field behind them, as we saw Dave Douglas on the last caution stay out and drop down to 8th over that green flag run. So we'll just have to keep an eye on Riley and Dyso here to see how they can hold up with these fresh tyres, chasing them down quite hard, as we see Gosley fire to the inside and make the move on Dyson. Be looking to do the same on Riley Curtis and retake this lead of the race here at Bristol. Lap 177 out of 300.
Side by side up at the front there, Trent Gosley, Riley Curtis. They're having a bit of a run there. Trent Gosley down the bottom there shuts the door. Riley Curtis loses out of this one. He's now under the attack of Dave Douglas, his teammate, and Aiden Schultz. And they're doing an awesome job as well. Aiden's sitting down the bottom of the racetrack. He's starting to make the move on, and they're side by side. Oh, door bang. Riley Curtis, he's hard in the pit wall when he's around. That's going to bring up the caution. And big incident.
As we see, two of the middle finger boys just not being able to check up just enough and finding that car stuck in the middle of Riley Curtis. So that was interesting to see the difference in tyres and grip levels, as there was about a 30 lap difference on tyres, but definitely got to be wary of the older tyres around you as we check out a Skypoynt replay and kind of just unravel this one a little bit, as we see Aiden just on the bottom, just maybe comes up a little bit and racing hard, and Riley obviously has to check up there and just gets a little smack up the bum and send it onto the inside wall. So definitely a hard hit for Riley in that front and toes back to pit lane. So hopefully he can get some repairs, get back out on track and kind of damage control or damage limitation and try and get some points, as we just see those two middle finger racing cars on the inside just running over each other as well. And Christopher Tomlin just trying to avoid it, and it looks like he gets through quite cleanly as well. So definitely a little bit of chaos on that yellow flag, and settle it all back down and try and go again.
Yeah, you got to be it's really important when you're racing and you've got a car and you're outside there to make sure that if you are racing around and that you give each other enough room. And by the looks of it there, Aiden might have just misjudged that one there, and it's he's give a little squeeze to Riley, who's then fortunately been hit from behind and it sent him into the fence, and thus caused that bit of a concertina then when he bounced back out on the track. Of course, this track being such a kind of coliseum, or a bit of a brick, a walled jungle here, you end up in a situation where you bounce off that bottom wall and you'll bounce straight back out in front of everyone, and yeah, it's pretty much see you later from there. So yeah, unfortunate, but the show will go on for the rest of these boys. Aiden, I think, got away with it, so it's ready to rock and roll for the next one.
Yeah, Aiden being scored in P2. He'll be starting on the outside of the forward track of Trent Gosley. But you could do everything right and kind of keep your nose as clean as possible. And sometimes hardware failures or connection issues, as we've just had Danny Vassell just drop connection. So a bit of bad luck for him. Hopefully he can rejoin the server as soon as possible and kind of limit the time loss for him. But with racing at Bristol in any car really, and how quickly things come up, this is a question for you, Tom, how quickly does a car come up when you're on the same tyres, and how quickly does it come up with old tyres to fresh tyres, and is it kind of really hard to kind of judge while you're racing, as you don't really get a break around Bristol.
Yeah, it's one of those things, especially as when you got people on differing, some people on new tyres, some people on old tyres. You do need to be really aware on the restart, because the tyres haven't come up to pressure yet. You do get a fair bit of movement, and if you are, you could be just before the caution flying around, going up high, going down low on the track, and then all of a sudden you have this caution, you go straight back out, next minute you turn the car and the rear end completely steps out on you. So you got to be really aware of it. By the looks of it, in that situation there, that was a kind of getting tight problem where Aiden kind of went up the track, probably didn't expect to end up as high on the track, and that's what's caused that squeeze on the car on the outside of him there. I think it was the 93 that he squeezed up into the wall. But we're about to go green again, and who have we got at the front here? We've got car number 4 with Aiden on the outside as we get back underway. Barney waving the green flag as always, doing a great job. And looks like he's skipped away here, car number 4. I'm not sure who that is. Sorry, Trent Gosley, of course, who has skipped away here and made a bit of a break straight away from Aiden Schultz and Adam Malone. That's followed by last year's season champion Dave Douglas, and Christopher Tomlin doing an awesome job up to 5th at the moment. Is doing an awesome job. It's not, I don't think if you were to ask him at the start of this race whether he would have expected to be that high in the field, he's certainly doing a fantastic job at the moment. So hopefully he can keep on with this as he continues on. What else is going on in the race, boys? This restart looks pretty active. We've got who else coming up behind here? How many cars on the lead lap by the looks of things? The top 13, is it?
Yeah, that's right. We have Aiden Schultz. He's in second. So it looks like the damage has been repaired. The top 7 in the lead lap. So we only have just a couple in the lead lap, unfortunately. 190 just about. Aiden gets passed by Adam Malone very easily, so may have made a mistake and gone high, maybe touched the wall, and that slowed off his momentum. But nevertheless, Southern Stars 2 and 3, but we can't not watch the double D of Dave Douglas, and we did get a beautiful view of his grippers earlier with his pedal cam, so that was great to see. Now he's on the charge.
He was definitely the better looking side of Dave Douglas, I think there when you guys were speaking to him. But was his feet talking, or does he actually have a face?
I just think it was the feet talking, but
and was it the right or the left foot that was talking?
Mate, it was both, and we had a laugh in the commentary. Blocker had his mic muted from the broadcast, and he was laughing like a hyena, and he was loving it, and it was just great in here in the broadcast booth. But can't wait to talk to him again, hopefully after the race, if he does make the podium, which most likely will happen. Double D being one of the quickest out here, especially here at the short tracks. But Trent Gosley still out in the lead of the motor race, nearly going into 5 laps till we go into our final third of the race. Aiden Schultz, he is chasing Trent Gosley in second position. Adam Malone, his teammate, following along with him, and Dave Douglas, Chris Tomlin, Gary Wellman, and Andrew Dyson, that ends your lead lap cars.
Yeah, it's definitely going on as we see Christopher Tomlin just on the inside of Greg Robbie here. We've got another caution flag on the track. I'm not seeing anything sticking out on the track at the moment, but Gosley's still leading, and Aiden Schultz getting back past Adam Malone after that bit of a wiggle in turn 2 in front of Adam Malone. So we're just focusing on the 083 of Will Jesberg, and just getting off the corner. Kobe Jordan just getting a little bit too close, and that's quite interesting, as Kobe and Will are quite good friends out of the sim as well, and quite enjoy a laugh as well. So maybe they might make this the weekly barbecue this week, as we just see Will get the wall a little bit there and come to a stop.
Close to Christmas time, there may be a lack of Christmas cards going either way, so we'll have to check that one up. there. Of course, there is a post-race review that happens after every race. For those that are watching on and don't know, we do a review which we look at every incident that happened during the race, and we apply penalties to people who have caused the incidents. So, you know, they don't get away scot-free for just spinning someone. They are penalised and do receive disciplinary action for their mistakes. Of course, this being a series, there is a very serious championship point series that's going on in the background, and you know, if you're penalised any kind of point, it's always not the greatest thing for your championship performance. So all the incidents you've seen tonight will get looked at post-race, which I got to say, at this point, with 100 laps and 101 laps to go, have been many. So there's going to be an extensive race review done after this race, and you know, we thank the boys who get involved in that each week and help me out to do that. So yeah, it's great fun. Boys, I am going to jump out of the booth because my time is about done. I've done my sentence and I'm about ready to jump back out into the car. But feel free, if you do want to jump on board with me at all during the rest of the race. I'll be driving about 400 laps down. So feel free to jump on board and I'll take you for a lap or so around while we're driving around and cause a bit of havoc maybe.
Sounds good, Tom, and we might swap one trailer park girl out for another as we see Andy J. Barber just come in to the commentary booth. Andy, if you're there, how's your night going, and how are you enjoying the race here tonight?
Oh, mate, I just jumped in to have a listen, but yeah, no, I just had a bit of a migraine today, so kicked that in the bud. But yeah, unfortunately not quick enough to make the race, but looking pretty interesting, all right.
Yeah, it definitely has been interesting and definitely unfortunate. I know how much you do love these trucks, and any chance to get behind the wheel of one of these things and battle it out with your teammates and the rest of this stellar field is always very, very enjoyable as we see them starting to form up to take the restart after the 9th caution. Money, who you've got yours on tonight, and is it still too early to pick a winner, or are you seeing someone that's kind of standing out and got the pace to maybe get the W here tonight?
I don't know, mate. Certainly not Tom tonight. I know that he's the one running away with the cash so far this season, and I haven't really seen what's going on with the race so far, so I've kind of rocked up now. But given Dave Douglas is out in the lead at the moment in that number 1 truck, a bit of an incident there as well. So maybe another... Yes, we are under caution again, probably the 10th caution I think I read earlier. But getting back to your question, Jai, Dave Douglas out there leading the race. Tom Pritchard, the current championship leader, in the booth out the race. Certainly blown things wide open, hasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely has. As we just quickly go back and check out our Skypoint replays, we just focus here on Aiden Schultz, just running that high line, and not too sure what's happened here as we just jump forward to Trent Gosley and Gary Wellman. I think it may have been Gosley that went around in this next corner, possibly to bring out this 10th caution as we just enter the corner here, still side by side, Gosley and Wellman, as we just see the back of the truck just starting to step out, and it's stepped out quite quickly actually, as we see the truck get backwards, and Aiden Schultz, with hardly any time to react, just gets into the nose of Gosley. Adam Malone, Darren McKenzie all coming up together. Gosley just pulls it back straight quite quickly, as we see Adam Malone just nicking the fence as well. So definitely unlucky for some of these Southern Star boys and unlucky for Gosley. But how quickly did that truck step out just on the entry to that corner?
Yeah, looks like the rear tyres left the chat and the car decided to veer off, and unfortunately all 3 Southern Star cars looks like got involved in that one. Unfortunately, Darren McKenzie, Aiden and Adam all got involved in that one. Adam still 4th position. Dave Douglas is your leader, and now we're double digits in the cautions, 10 cautions. Post-race review is going to be very busy tonight, as we also have 2 reviews. We also have tonight and last round. Unfortunately, Tom's power did decided to give up, and now we have the review tonight. But apart from that, pretty good night, and the boys after the race are going to be pretty busy.
yeah, definitely a busy night ahead after the race for this post-race, as we do have the post-race review for Bristol, and also I believe it was Charlotte last week. As mentioned, Tom did have a power outage, and with that power outage last week and the unfortunate events tonight for Tom, he is going into tonight with a 64-point lead in the championship, currently having 3 wins in the season so far, and a bit of the super speedway specialist that he is, he'll be more than welcoming in the next 3 rounds as we go back to the super speedways after tonight and back to Daytona, Talladega and Atlanta for the second stage of the Skypoynt Triple Crown as well. So bit of as far away as each other you can get with the short track at Bristol and the high banks at Daytona as well. Super speedway racing, it takes a little bit of driving style adjustments to get around those places, but definitely interesting to see as well.
That's right. Talk about driving style. Why don't you lead us on to the 10th restart, Jai, and talk the viewers around Bristol Motor Speedway?
It's too easy as we see them forming up. Dave Douglas restarting on the inside, still leading this race with Gary Wellman from the Sim Boys on the high line. Christopher Tomlin in third, Adam Malone fourth, Daiso and Che Mello in the third row as well. So we just see Dave Douglas get a really good restart once more and really stretch out his legs early on, not really getting contested into this first corner as we've seen all night long. But Gary Wellman getting the momentum off turn 2 and going with Dave Douglas, and Christopher Tomlin just dropping back a little bit, but definitely a 2-horse race at the moment on this restart that's happening quite quickly as well, as we are well and truly into the last third of this race, as Gary Wellman still working that middle line, just trying to keep with Dave here and not let him kind of skip away too much as we go under caution once more.
11th caution of the night. Look at the back of Kobe Jordan. No, that's his. Looks like that's Luke Kenny. He's gone back on track and he's had an incident. Let's have a look at the replay and see what happened.
Just see him getting into turn 3 and 4 here. Just coming off of turn 4 and the truck stepping out, getting a bit loose and going sideways. Does he, as we see him lock up all 4 wheels, holding the brakes. Holding the brakes and really stopping that truck nosing into the fences. He just keeps it off the fence once more. So a very good save again by Luke Kenny and keeping that truck undamaged as possible as well. So just see him go forward, just making sure he's out of the way. And as we see the 2 yellow stripes on the back of Luke Kenny's truck there. So that's not the best thing to do to keep those rookie stripes on the back of those trucks, as I know he can't wait to get them removed off his paint, but he's doing a really good job this season and really a bit of a silent achiever and kind of just sneaks up in a few of these races this season. And I know in the first few rounds of the season as well, racing up against Luke, he kind of just sneaks up on you, and when he gets to you, you're kind of a bit surprised, and he's definitely come a long way and definitely someone to keep an eye on as the season continues on and really winds up and follows this momentum as this series has really had. And I do believe that the registrations are still open as well. So if you want to be a part of the Skypoynt Truck Series and have a chance to win some of that Tom's money, just look up the Skypoynt Facebook page and the website skypointracing.com.au, I believe it is. I could be wrong. But yeah, definitely on Facebook and come be a part of it and have some good, hard, fast, clean racing for the most part. So definitely a good group of guys and definitely a well-run league by Tom and Andy and the amount of work that they put into this league to make it what it is and to put on such a great event every Tuesday night in the Skypoynt Truck League.
Yeah, and Skypoynt Truck League never disappoints. 11 cautions here tonight. That's a big number. And we do have a couple, only a handful of drivers on the lead lap, but Double D, Dave Douglas leading us out of this restart very shortly. Gary Wellman, Adam Malone, Chris Tomlin, he's made his way up there too. Trent Gosley, Che Mello, so a bunch of really quick drivers up the front. They're doing a really good job pressing on, and a few of them are up quite a lot of positions too. Andrew Dyson up 14, Che Mello up 22, Chris Tomlin up 15, and Adam Malone 7, Gary Wellman 9, and Dave Douglas is up 1 position, so he's done a very good job. And everyone's done a very good job at gaining all their positions.
Yeah, definitely a lot of movers and shakers through the field here tonight, but that's what Bristol creates. And as we see, safety cars do breed more safety cars. So we have had a couple of good green flag long runs here tonight. We do have, I think it's about 80 laps to go. I could be wrong. Not quite sure at the moment, but yeah, definitely forming up for this restart as we see Dave Douglas restarting on the inside, Gary Wellman on the outside, and Adam Malone, Christopher Tomlin very close behind them. So we'll look to go green flag this time by.
Green flag.
We're green for the 11th time this race, and Dave Douglas still out in the lead. He's doing a good job. Gary Wellman, Adam Malone, and Chris Tomlin, they trade Gosling down the bottom. He's having a move and having a look and having a crack at Chris Tomlin. Gets it done too. Adam Malone disappears for a second. He's back now. He's in 6th position. Dave Douglas out in the lead, holding off Gary Wellman very well, but Paul Jackson, blocker mate, let's drag you into this one. Double D, Dave Douglas, he's your favourite, and why don't you jump aboard and have a chat about your favourite driver, Dave Douglas.
Oh, I don't know if you should say he's my favourite driver, throwing me under the bus there, but no, Dave's a pretty good solid driver, and yeah, he's a good mate, and yeah, he's having a good solid run tonight. We saw he had a lot of pace early on as well, and yeah, sort of towards the mid of the race, he just sort of dropped back and sort of fell back a little bit towards about 7th or 8th, and just sort of trying to keep out of trouble a bit, and he's found his way back up to the front again. He's got a nice clean truck there by the looks of it, so he's sitting quite well up the front there, and he's definitely got the pace to bring home a podium and potentially the win for the race as well.
Yeah, and we've seen him in the winning spot a few times too. He has the number 1 for a reason. He's doing a good job. As we're rolling very close to the end of the race now, we are 77 laps remaining in the race. Jai's getting excited too. He's just a bit quiet, but no doubt he's having a bit of a squeal, getting excited in his chair at home, just out of the race seat for tonight. He is moving house, so it's unfortunate not to see the number 27 Platinum Racing truck on the track, but coming close to the end of the race here, Dave Douglas did a good job, but apart from the obvious, who do you reckon you're going to pick for the win?
Well, Dave Douglas is hard to skip past. He's had the pace all night long, and he just skips away and really has a knack for kind of controlling the pace and knowing when to push and when to let off. So at the moment, he's got 7 cars on the lead lap fighting him for the position at the moment. But that can change quite quickly, as we just had Aiden Schultz just have a bit of an incident off of turn 2 as well and have to tow. But he spun onto the apron, so it didn't bring out a caution flag either. So definitely unfortunate for him, as he had pace all night long and was looking quite strong. But definitely, definitely Double D looking... making it very well known and displaying why he does have that gold at number 1 on the side of that nice looking A1 Sim Sports truck, doing a very, very good job here tonight. So Gary Wellman not too far behind, just dropped a second back, closely followed by Trent Gosley. That battle is heating up a little bit. 4 more seconds back from them is Andrew Dyson, closely followed by Christopher Tomlin, just on those slightly older tyres, but doing a good job holding on to that top 5 position. 70 laps to go. It's still anyone's game, but Dave Douglas looking pretty strong. He's only up 1 position starting out of P2, so he didn't have too much forward way to go, but definitely keeping the truck up the front. And as mentioned by him earlier on in the race, that's where you kind of want to be here at Bristol, and he's doing a good job with staying up there as well.
Yeah, and really can't get my eyes off Dave Douglas too. He's doing an awesome job up at the front there. Gary Wellman's also there up at the front. Trent Gosley has had a lot of pace throughout the race as well. Don't mean to rhyme, but how good's this? Bristol Motor Speedway producing very exciting racing has so far. 11 cautions and 300 laps. That's pretty big considering how small Bristol Motor Speedway is. But only 7 drivers remaining on the lead lap is something that I wouldn't really expect. I'm not too sure about you, Drive, but looks like the race has started to calm down now. Everyone's starting to make a run to the end. And we did mention earlier that the drivers are playing quite a big, long game to try and get to the end. And it looks like 7 people so far are succeeding it with that.
Well, it definitely goes to show the name of Bristol and being kind of promoted as the last great Coliseum. They do go into battle at Bristol, these drivers. It's all about survival in the first portion of this race, and we always say, especially with the super speedways, the first 90% of the race is really racing to buy your ticket into that final 10-20 laps, which is more of a thing here at Bristol, is because it's such a short track, there's so many laps. It's so easy to go a lap down and just buying your ticket to that final kind of portion of that race to put yourself in that position to win is really a feat in itself. As we have mentioned that there's 7 drivers still on the lead lap. So we've got Douglas, Wellman, Gosley, Dyson, Tomlin, Malone and Mello all on that lead lap. So it's still any one of those games, and as we've seen in a few of those incidents, you can have an incident kind of thing that happens maybe 100, 200 metres up the track, and especially if it's mid to late corner, you're kind of blinded. So it's quite easily to get caught up in an incident that's not necessarily your incident, but you're just wrong place, wrong time as well. So these drivers still on that lap 242 of 300, they're still just kind of sitting there, calm down, as you mentioned, Junior, and just really battling on until maybe 20, 30 laps to go, and then really push on hard and go for that win. And just finishing Bristol, especially on the lead lap, is a feat in themselves. So for all those drivers still running at the end of this one, pat on the back, beat up, grab yourself a beer and just kind of reflect and pat yourself on the back and doing a really good job here at Bristol and just being able to finish it in general.
Yeah, and the lap times are quite quick for this track. Of course, we are a tiny circuit. It's only a small half mile, so we only really have 25 minutes worth of racing yet. It is quite late also, so the drivers will be dealing with quite a lot of fatigue as well as needing to concentrate. Tom earlier in the broadcast booth did also mention that this is a pretty physical track for the drivers as well, even in sims. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. But I just mentioned our picks before. Dave Douglas is looking pretty racy at the moment as well. He's doing an awesome job out in the front. Gary Wellman, Trent Gosley, Andrew Dyson, we haven't really spoken about him for a bit. Chris Tomlin is also there with Adam Malone and Trey Mello. That's your top 7. That's your only lap lead cars as well. Before we have Henry Fenton, who looks like to be 6 to 7 laps down too. So bit unfortunate, but looks like a lot of drivers have been out this race. So we can really see who can last a track like this.
It's definitely a race of nutrition, and Dave Douglas just extending his lead out to about 6.4 seconds as Trent Gosley just got back into second place, getting past Gary Wellman. So that battle did heat up, and And Gosley just looking to kind of skip away from Wellman here as he did early in the race and show that pace, as he still currently holds the quickest lap of this race so far. But just looking back to Gary Wellman here with Henry Fenton coming up behind him. But this is the battle that's the hottest battle on the track at the moment, with Andrew Dyson, Christopher Tomlin and Adam Malone all fighting for that fourth, fifth and sixth positions as they come up behind Luke Kenny here as well. So definitely the closest battle on track, and it's a three-way battle for the fourth position, as we just see Adam Malone show his nose to the inside of Christopher Tomlin here, trying to make that low line work. And Christopher Tomlin just gets a bit tail happy off the corner, but definitely an awesome save there. So Adam Malone just backing out, just letting Chop kind of just catch that truck a little bit, and they'll try and battle on again. So to see Andrew Dyson get past Luke Kenny and kind of skip away. Adam Malone back to the inside. He's going to try and use Luke Kenny as a pick and kind of hold up Christopher Tomlin on this outside line, as it's very textbook move, as we see Luke Kenny just hold in that middle line in front of these guys, as Christopher Tomlin and Luke Kenny, teammates, just getting into it, but they both keep it straight. But that allows Adam Malone to really cement that position into P5 and go after Dyson to resume that battle. So just spreading out there and using lap cars to their advantage as well. So very textbook by Adam Malone, and very heads up driving, as we see Dave Douglas still leading here, 6.1 seconds back to Trent Gosley, really extending his lead out here, as well as his last stop was on 198. So he might be looking to kind of do this green flag run all the way to the finish. If they are getting 106 laps, he will have enough fuel to get to the finish if it does stay green.
Yep, talking about green flag running, we are nearly 40 laps until the end, and we've had a pretty good green flag racing period as well. Dave Douglas still in the lead, and he's starting to overtake a few drivers too, and bringing him even more of a couple of laps down. Luke Kenny's the first, is one of the victims of Dave Douglas's pace. His foot cam is doing wonders. We can check that out very shortly when we can, and we can really see the footwork that Dave is using. Trent Gosley in second also. He's doing awesome, and Andrew Dyson, he's doing a really good job in the third position. Everything's calmed down, everyone's gone quiet, and everyone's single file, just try to get to the end.
Yeah, it definitely has calmed down a lot, but we are almost at 9 p.m. in sim time as well, so the track is fully bathed in light. It is full night time, so the track temps will be coming down quite a lot, and since that has done so, we have seen Double D, Dave Douglas, really take off. So this setup that Dave is running tonight, and as it is open setup, really is really liking these night conditions, and a bit of a lower humidity, lower track temp, and the truck's really coming to him, as it's kind of stagnated out to that 6-second lead over Trent Gosley, and just holding his own there, as you just see Double D get past Gary Wellman to put Wellman a lap down. So they were fighting for the lead not too long ago, Gary Wellman and Dave Douglas. So Wellman's just dropping off the pace. He is one lap down now as Dave gets around him, but he is in the lucky dog position, so if a caution does come out, he will get that lap back if he can stay there. So he's fighting Che Mello for that position. But Dave's really put the hammer down there, and he's got a few more cars in front of him as we see him come up behind Christopher Tomlin for his next victim. Christopher Tomlin still fighting with Adam Malone for the 4th and 5th position, but got to be careful here as Dave Douglas is hot on their tail, but as they are together as well, it's going to be a bit harder for Dave to pass, and they're not going to let him put them a lap down quite easily, as we see them sit side by side now. So Christopher Tomlin looking to the inside of Adam Malone as Dave Douglas just sits back and kind of is letting them battle for position, as he still has a 5.6 second lead over Trent Gosley. So he's got a bit of time up his sleeve, and He looks to the inside, decides to back out of it, and lets Christopher Tomlin and Adam Malone still fight together for the 4th position, as they are only about a second behind Andrew Dyson as well. So not letting Dyson get away too quickly as they go 3 wide. Dave Douglas shows the nose to the inside here. One of the first times we've seen 3 wide here tonight at Bristol, and they just a bit of contact. They both managed to save a big wiggle off the corner for Christopher Tomlin, but keeps it straight and cements himself into 4th position, where Adam Malone is now gone 1 lap down. So he's in the lucky dog position to get his lap back if a caution does come out. So now Dave's only got 1 car to go. The gap at the front has come down to 4.2 seconds over Gosley now. So Dave's getting a little bit more urgent now to get past these lap cars and really put the foot down and extend that lead back out, as he's only got a couple more cars to put a lap down. As he comes up a little bit on Christopher Tomlin, they get hooked up together, and the caution isn't going to come out as we stay green, as they happened to spin onto that apron as well. So a bit of hard luck for Dave Douglas there and Christopher Tomlin, as Christopher Tomlin now goes a lap down as well. Trent Gosley now takes the lead after that incident that Dave Douglas has just had. 2 seconds back in favour of Gosley now. What did you think of that, Junior? It was all going on for a bit there.
I think Junior's fallen asleep on you.
Nah, mate. 26 laps to go so far. Trent Gosley out in the lead. Looks like he's surpassed good old Double D. Doing a good job. Andrew Dyson's also there. Adam Malone is also there. Looks like 4 people on the lead lap. 25 laps to go. The times are coming down really quick. I'm very surprised of how many drivers have been knocked out or are laps down. A bit unfortunate, but 24 laps now remaining. Times are coming down fast, and Trent Gosley looks like he has quite good pace here, as he is staying quite consistent out in front.
Yeah, Gosley just getting that lead kind of thrown into his lap and taking an advantage to all that he could with that. But it was also good for Adam Malone with that little incident between Tomlin and Douglas, as that put Adam Malone back on the lead lap. Now Gary Wellman is in that lucky dog position as well. Gosley just kind of stagnating that lead now, 2.2 seconds over Dave Douglas, and a further 8.5 seconds back to Andrew Dyson in 3rd place. So 4 cars now on the lead lap, and Gosley just coming up behind Adam Malone here, so looking to put Adam Malone back into that 1 lap down kind of area here. But long green flag run, and I believe it's the longest we've seen all night, as we just see Gosley get that move done on Adam Malone.
That's right, and Trent's just decided to go past number 3, Southern Stars entry, Adam Malone. Another lap down he goes. Now 3 people are on the lead lap. That's Trent Gosley, Dave Douglas and Andrew Dyson. And they're now on a charge. 19 laps remaining. We are about to get ready to go into our white flag very shortly. Before we even know, in a blink we'll be at the white flag. So have a close look. Watch the number 1 of Dave Douglas. He's now on the charge to get to the number 4 of Trent Gosley.
Yeah, he's definitely won't be happy with that incident earlier on, and definitely put the hammer down. He did have a lot of pace as the sun went down, and he did extend that lead well and truly out to about that 6 second mark before he kind of was just taking it easy, getting past some lap cars 1 by 1, and got down to about 4.5 second lead. And then the incident kind of swung the lead 2 seconds in the other way. So still sitting at 2.1 seconds, so not being able to make up that time. As we see Gosley just working on the back of one of the middle split racing cars there, Richie Tramarco. Now next one on his list will be Tom Pritchard in the Skypoynt entry. So just 1 by 1, keeping that lead going, still around that 2 second mark. So just clearing these cars just as he needs to, and really keeping up that pace to try and get the win here tonight with only 14 laps to go.
Yeah, 14 laps to go, and like I said before, the lap time's coming, well, the lap count's coming down quicker than you can think, but Trent Gosley has some really good pace there out in the front. I'm not too sure where Dave is in relative to him. There is roughly a just over a 2 seconds gap back, and then 13 seconds back to, 10 seconds back to Andrew Dyson from Dave Douglas. So only 3 cars in the lead lap so far, and it looks like Trent Gosley is very dominant of the motor race at the moment. He does have quite a lot of pace underneath him.
Yeah, definitely still holding that gap, 2 seconds as he works through this field, and looking to get his first win of this season. His best result so far this season is 6th place going back to round 2 at Talladega, so he'll be looking for a good result as he's had a few unfortunate weeks, but definitely doing all he can tonight to really get this result and hopefully get this win as he just comes together with a 15. We do stay green though, as he's managed to save it, but that cuts that lead all the way down to about 0.6 of a second. So there's only 1 car of Will Jesberg in between them as he lets Dave Douglas go by quite easily and lets them continue on with their battle now. So definitely under half a second now between P1 and 2 of Trent Gosley and Dave Douglas.
Yeah, that incident by Trent was a pretty hairy moment. He did a good job to catch the car, but that's now allowed Dave Douglas, Double D from Rockhampton, that's allowed him to really gain to the back of Trent Gosley, and no doubt moves will be made very shortly.
Caution.
On caution, words from the pit lane says that may have a car that's blown their engine, so we'll see what's happened, but that's definitely thrown a spanner in the works for the Skypoynt round 7 here at Bristol. We look at Luke Kenny. He has spun out on the front stretch. We saw that earlier, and big contact to that wall sent him sideways, and he's very lucky not to flip, but that's going to bring us to our 12th caution of the night.
Yeah, definitely unlucky for Luke Kenny there, as we see him do that a couple of times tonight, but the truck kind of snapped a lot more in the previous incidents, and he was managed to save it, where it was just a little bit that the back end of that truck came out then, and it kind of just fired him straight into that inside wall. So it does bring out a very late caution with only 4 laps to go. So I do believe this will be our first section of the green-white checker period. So we do have 3 here tonight as we look at Trent Gosley deciding to stay out as Dave Douglas hits pit road, and Andrew Dyson also staying out. So as the timing board just moves around a bit, but Adam Malone getting the lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap. So we'll have Gosley, Douglas, Malone and Dyson as we see Gosley just hit pit road in front of Riley Curtis here. So 3 green-white checkers and 3 opportunities to get it right or get it wrong. It's definitely going to be a hard-fought finish to the end of this one.
That's right. That's going to really bring the top 3 together now. Gary Wellman, Andrew Dyson. Looks like a few people now getting their lap back. So that's going to be pretty interesting and exciting to watch. First green-white checker of the night, and we have 3 to go to the end.
It's definitely going to heat up, and these drivers are really going to go for it and give it all they can, as we see Dave Douglas just going up against the wall, just maybe cleaning up that high line a little bit while we're under caution, and maybe look to use that to his advantage, or to see if he can make a move around that outside, as we haven't really seen any drivers really getting up close to that wall, as quite a lot of marbles are up there, as we have done. Just touching on 300 laps now, as we do elect to go in our first green-white checker of the night. So if once we get the green, they'll have a lap, and if a yellow comes out, we'll restack them and try again. We got 3 attempts, but if they get the white flag, the next flag will end the race after that. So it's a bit of a race first to the white flag, and after, as long as they get that white flag, it's a race. And the next flag depends if it's checkered or yellow. Doesn't matter. That will end the race if they get shown the white flag first. So definitely heated up, and definitely gonna turn up the wick to end things here in Tennessee at Bristol.
Yeah, and this is the battle you're going to want to look out for. Trent Gosley's starting off your pole. We can see everyone circulating past the safety cars. The lap cars get waved through, or the cars in between the leader and the safety car gets waved through for the green-white checker. Dave Douglas, Trent Gosley, Adam Malone, Gary Wellman. Those 4 drivers are the only drivers that are on the lead lap. You can pretty much guarantee Dave Douglas on the podium, and no doubt the other 3 drivers in the top 4 have a huge chance. We've gone green lap 2. Well, 2 laps to go, not lap 2. I'd be scared if it was lap 2, but here we go. Getting ready to wind it down to the final lap. We've gone white flag. Barney's waiting for the white flag. Dave Douglas still at the lead. Trent Gosley is following behind, but he's no match for Double D, who's about to take the win. Dave Douglas wins round 7 here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
As a fireworks guy for Bristol, and Dave Douglas, very commanding win. Also, the very last lap of this race, Dave Douglas just set the fastest lap of the race with a 14.855. So definitely hammered down all the way to the finish there, as we see him just coming back out onto the track to celebrate his victory here tonight at Bristol. What a stellar drive, and a really controlled race by Dave Douglas.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to do his burnouts. Just waiting for his teammate Riley Curtis to move out the way, and he's going to burn it up. So I'll shut up and let's just enjoy a Double D burnout yet again here for the Skypoynt Season 3 Truck Series, and we'll just watch the on-track entertainment of Dave Douglas doing his burnout before we talk to the drivers after the race. Commanding win from Dave Douglas, and he is going the wrong way again. We did see this happening last time. Good old Blocker probably has a smile on his face remembering that one. But speaking about Blocker, let's looks like there's another car blocking the track there too, as Dave Douglas is going the other way. But Blocker, you haven't really spoken too much in the commentary booth, have been concentrating on those cameras. How do you think the race has really kicked off here tonight at Bristol?
I think good race, but probably maybe 50 laps, 100 laps, probably too long for my liking. Quite a long race, so we did see a few trucks get taken out of that longer race, and short track sort of does bring that out sometimes. Only other thing I'll probably say is, even teammates were getting into each other tonight. Probably a little bit more awareness of cars. It did seem to get a bit loose, coming off the corners at times as well, and just that awareness of cars checking up in front of you instead of driving into the back of them and spinning them. Probably would have had half as many cautions tonight as well, but is what it is, and yeah.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good night. Also pretty clean, apart from the couple cautions. We'll throw it over to Jai. Also, how do you think that race went, mate? We'll just have a bit of a recap, and then I'll let you go through the race results.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit of stop-start at times, but some decent green flag running as well. And it was interesting to see those short runs versus long runs, and and the whole time frame transitioning into night and seeing who's set up really suited the night rather than some of the other guys that were fast early and kind of fell off a little bit, whether that was damage or track conditions. But as we just go to the race results, Dave Douglas taking out the win tonight for the BMX Bandits and A1 Racing. We've got Trent Gosling, middle finger, racing for second place, and Adam Malone, Southern Stars, for third place. Continuing on, we've got Gary Wellman, Christopher Tomlin, Andrew Dyson, Che Mello, Henry Fenson, Craig Roffey, Will Jesper coming home in 10th position, Luke Kenny, Richie Tomarco, Riley Curtis, Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard, Aidan Schultz, Tony Roffey, Kobe Jordan in 18th for inside lane. Then we've got Danny Vassell and Daniel Stevens rounding out your top 20. Noddy Tompkins, Jason Holdsworth, Troy Mortensen, Christopher Finlay, Aaron Dillon, Stevie W, Dwayne Priest, and Toddy Maxfield with that early connection issue, which was unfortunate, but that rounds out your 28 starters here tonight. That was 300 laps and the Tennessee, or at Tennessee Bristol Speedway. So interesting race, everything kind of happening. Had a bit of everything, and it was a good race to boot. But we've got the podium in the podium room at the moment. So I'm not sure if you guys dragged them up or you jumped down.
I'm not too sure, but we do have the podium in the podium room. We'll talk to the number 3 Southern Stars entry of Adam Malone. Adam, coming out in P number 3 here at Bristol, looks like a lot of the drivers, pretty much all the field except 4, have been smashed out and laps down, mate. How do you feel like your race is gone?
Yeah, I was really expecting an early night there, but tough track this one. I'm surprised a few blokes didn't make it there, so yeah, bit of a shame.
Yeah, mate, your pace has been pretty good tonight. You were running quite quick, and you did have a couple incidents, like a bit of contact with the barriers, just avoiding some crashes. Bristol may possibly be on the calendar next year. What do you think you're really going to adapt into next season if we do come back to Bristol?
Yeah, if it's on the calendar next year, then I think we all need to practice a bit more. But it's a good track. I don't mind it as long as everyone respects each other on the track. It's a good track to race on.
Yeah, and just very briefly before I throw you over to Jai, how did you think everything went tonight with your tyre wear and whatnot? Everyone seemed to have some really good pace there too, and didn't really seem like tyre wear was a big factor in anything. But how do you think it went?
Yeah, the tyre wear, it was pretty good for the first 20 odd laps, and I think I was just trying to save my tyre wear as much as I could, and race at the same time. But yeah, towards the end there, say about 30 odd laps, 40 odd laps in, and you can start feeling your tyres giving way. So yeah, I was lucky for half of those cautions to come out. We didn't have to do a green pit stop there, which was lucky. But yeah, nah.
Yeah, definitely a good run here tonight, Adam, and bringing home the 3 truck in P3 for Southern Stars. Was it kind of a hard race to judge, or to like keep up with the track conditions, or was it kind of a quite slow transition as the lights came on and the sun went down?
Yeah, for me it was a bit of a slow transition, just trying to get a groove there. But towards the end there, yeah, I thought I was keeping up with the lead pack there, but Dave and Trent there, they just took off with the lead and ended up putting me a lap down, but ended up getting the lucky dog at the end there. So I really don't know how I got P3, because before that lucky dog, I was sitting in P4 or 5. So yeah, I was stoked about P3.
Just finishing here at Bristol is a feat in itself, and to come out with a podium, it was definitely a solid drive. So it's your chance to kind of thank your sponsors and thank who got you here tonight and give them a bit of a shout out. So the floor's yours.
Well, first I'll shout out to you guys for putting on a good broadcast. Skypoynt, Mishi XL Garage, Tiona Holiday Park, and the Southern Stars esports team.
Yeah, and now we do have Trent Gosley, a second place getter here tonight, up one from where he started. Trent, how did your race go tonight, mate?
Oh, like a yo-yo and all over the shop, I guess.
Well, mate, you secured P2, pretty good bag of points, but regardless, with the incidents that you've had tonight, you've come out with pretty good position, good amount of points, and your truck's a little bit, your truck's a bit banged up, but it's not too bad. But mate, talk us through the race. How did it go for you?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really too bad. I mean, I got turned a couple of times. I even spun myself out there at one point, so could probably done a bit better there. But other than that, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, managed to put that many lap cars down, and it wasn't really that stressful about what happened. Really, we were just going hard there at the end. It was good fun.
Yeah, that's right, mate. And we did see you get involved in a couple of incidents too, unfortunately. But how did you really try and recover to that? We did see that you did have a lot of pace during the opening stages of that race. Did you come in and take some fresh tyres and then come back out, or did you just light a fire up under your butt and got going?
When I got spun early in the race, I went and took tyres, and not many other people did. So I was on fresh tyres, but I was just being aggressive. I mean, I love that track. I race Speedway in real life, so to me, it's the closest thing to it. So I was just aggressive and going after it. Yeah,
that's right, and it's pretty impressive seeing you catch a run and overtake people that quickly. So big congratulations with your second place, mate, and I'll throw you back over to Joe.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, it was definitely a stellar drive, Trent, tonight, coming home in P2 and going from the shortest track on the calendar here tonight at Bristol into Daytona next week, and really being a team game, having a few teammates in the league with you and kind of looking to take the momentum from tonight into Daytona next week and try and pull your team up and maybe get the win next week at Daytona?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had pretty bad luck this whole season, really, our team. But I mean, we'll just go to the front again next week and we'll see where the cars fall when we get to the end.
Oh, that's it, and try and use the momentum and continue this very quick streak. So this is your chance to give a shout out to sponsors and anyone that got you here tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thanks, mate. I just want to thank MFR Racing for letting me drive for him, WP Concreting, Mad As Designs, and Dan for his awesome paint scheme, Baker Diversified Contractors, and Dare Mobile Car Detailing. Thank you.
Congratulations once more to Trent Gosley in the number 4 truck, coming home in P2 tonight, as we move to truck number 1, Dave Douglas. 2 weeks in a row, mate, 2 wins. How are you going with the momentum and looking forward to the Super Speedways? You're on a bit of a winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty straightforward race for the most part until the last bit. So, yes. So it's pretty good momentum. I think if it stayed green there at the end and then had that green-white checker, Trent would have won this race. But prior to that, obviously, for whatever reason, a lap car, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, misjudged whatever he was doing and happened to turn me around. So I don't know if he took offence to me trying to make him 3 wide. I sat behind him for, 3 or 4 laps, 5 laps while he was trying to make a pass, couldn't make the pass. And obviously I'm the leader. I know they're racing, but I'm racing as well. So I mean, they made a clean move. They got into it on the outside, and then whether he took offence to that or not. But what's strange is not 50 laps or so before that, I'm trying to give the bloke encouragement, and you're doing good, mate. Stay in the race. You're on the lead lap. Well done, man. And then that happened. So, look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, say he misjudged that. But other than that, we got lucky with the Greenway check at end. Otherwise, it was Trent's race, and we got the W tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing at Bristol. Everything happens so quickly, and did see a lot of patience tonight, just moving through the field and really picking your time to do so, and kind of knowing when to put the foot down and when not to. Was it quite black and white into knowing when to push and when to kind of lay back and manage the race in that respect?
Yeah, it's. It helps that you've got a fast car, I guess. So we had the pace to be able to be patient, In that middle stint, I let Trent go for a run, and he sort of got a whole straight away from me. And I was a bit worried. I thought, maybe he's just going to run away, and I won't be able to catch up. And then maybe his tyres just went off a little bit, and we're able to catch back up and pass him. And so I was happy with that. But with the lap cars, for Bristol and some of like the gap between like the top level and the sort of low level, and this is a big gap. But for the most part, everyone did a good job. They were all pretty courteous, all held their line. Well, for what I saw anyway, because I wasn't back in the pack. So the lap cars, I got to give credit to them. They all did a good job all night, I guess. But like you said, you just got to know when to push it and when to not. Until there is to it, I guess. And like you said, everything happens fast here. So when something does go wrong, you end up on it pretty quick.
That's exactly right, and got your third podium, second win of this season tonight. Are you looking forward to getting back into the super speedways at Daytona next week and kind of going from one extreme from Bristol to the other at Daytona?
Yeah, it's a big difference, isn't it? But history says no. I'm not looking forward to it because I've had a rough start to the season this year, and old super speedway Tom just killed it. So. His luck has changed a little bit. Like I had no luck at the start. His luck's changed a little bit over the last two races. So making gains back on him now. And now we've got to go back in the super speedway mode and see if we can keep up with him. But we'll see. I always like the super speedways, but it's always a lottery.
Hopefully you can get another good result, and hopefully I'll be back on the track next week and taking the fight to you as well. So I'll throw you over to Junior for anything that he would like to add.
Junior's gone to sleep. No, that's all right. We'll see you back out there next week. Enjoy. Running 3 wide, mate. Send it straight up the middle for me, won't you?
I'll try my best. But your chance to thank anyone that gets you here tonight and a few sponsors and take it away.
Obviously A1 Sim Sports front row lockout tonight, which was good. Riley had a good run for the most part of it. Unfortunately, got into an incident with someone else during the race, but then turned to poo real quick. But other than that, we had a good car, we had a good speed. So RCD Designs for all the liveries on the cars, super cheap auto. What we got? Didi's Custom Couch. Check it out on Facebook. Jump on there for a bit of a laugh with the bandits. Shout out Skypoynt, you boys, for jumping in the booth and doing this, and Blocker. Hopefully my foot cam, I give a bit of a laugh earlier, but see if it's dancing on. But anyway, I don't know if you saw my foot cam when I was spinning around. It wasn't probably very nice, but anyway. And then just shout out to the Sim Boys.
Definitely a solid drive and another win for Dave Douglas here at the Skypoynt Trucks. Second win of the season in dominant form here tonight, and also Dave setting the quickest lap of the race on the final lap as well. So a few more points in the goodie bag this week here at Bristol. So anything that you'd like to add, Blocker, before we wrap this one up?
No, I think we're pretty good. I think we better wrap this up. So Tom's got a busy night ahead in the post-race with last weekend this week. So we'll wrap this one up and we'll see you next week. Thanks for jumping in the booth, Joy, with us, and on the comms with Ryan as well.
It was definitely a pleasure jumping in the booth and calling another round of the Skypoynt Trucks. So, we'll wrap this one up. And look forward to the the post-race review for last week at Texas and also this week here at Bristol on the Skypoynt Facebook page. So head over there and watch the action over there. But from everyone at InterSim Esports Network and the Skypoynt Truck League, we'll have a good night and see you next week, and don't work too hard. Catches.